So this is part 2 of weight loss, and I really want to say fat loss because that's what it should be. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people lose muscle with their fat. So in part 1, I really just touched base on fat to protein ratio, if you should have higher fat, if you should have lower fat to shed your own body fat, and what are the precursors to both. In this video, I want to talk about everything other than food. Maybe one thing regarding food, which I'll start with, which is nutrient density. Your body isn't hungry for calories, it's hungry for nutrients. So if you want to feel more satiated with less calories, eat organs. Organs are the most nutrient dense food on the planet. Liver is literally the #1 most nutrient dense food on the planet. I will put a chart here of all of the nutrients in liver. It's incredible. And you can find these on Google. This is not just carnivore people, saying liver is the best. It's just a fact. Liver is the most nutrient dense food on the planet. Organs in general are very nutrient dense. And so if someone is deficient in a certain nutrient like selenium, I would definitely recommend that that person starts eating heart, because heart is a good source of selenium. Or gizzards. Gizzards are a good source of selenium. If someone doesn't have any deficiencies and they don't like eating organs, then I don't think it's necessary to consume them. But on a carnivore diet, organs are supplements. They are supplemental vitamins and nutrients. I include them for variety, and I include them because I feel my best when I consume them. So if someone is trying to be in a slight caloric deficit, or if someone's just simply trying to have satiety, one part of that is leptin. Leptin is our satiety hormone. Definition right here, leptin. So we have ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone, and then leptin, which is the satiety hormone. It tells our body when to stop eating. Instead of eating until you've had enough calories and you're counting your calories, or until your stomach is stretched and you're like, oof, I feel stuffed, leptin tells us when to stop. It's just like that, and you know when to put your fork down. You're comfortable, you're satiated. That's part of satiation. The other part of it is getting the right nutrients. You need to be sure that your body is actually absorbing what you're consuming. So like when I had the chronic C. diff, I was eating at one point 6,000 calories per day and still losing weight. Sometimes people will say, you are what you eat. This is not true. You are actually what you absorb. So #1, be sure that you have proper gut health. If you don't, eating animal foods is going to help with that. I actually have a video on gut health. If you would like to check that out, I'll put the link in this description down here. But this is my point. If you want to be full and satiated, you have to give your body what it needs, which is nutrients. These nutrients have specific roles in your body to keep it functioning optimally. And if you don't have them, your body will be craving them and asking for them. Sometimes people will eat, they'll just fill up on chicken. There's a good example. If you compare the amino acid of chicken to beef, you will see that it is totally inferior. You're getting so much more bang for your buck in beef versus chicken. And so if you want to feel more satiated, go for the meat that is most nutrient dense. Go for the foods that are most nutrient dense. So when you're eating, focus on nutrient density. Next tip is sleep. If you are not prioritizing your sleep, you will only get so far with your weight loss. I have worked with a person who was morbidly obese, eating under 800 calories per day and not losing any weight because they didn't sleep at night. They had severe insomnia. This is a problem. I prioritize my sleep like crazy. Sometimes I go to bed at 7 p.m. in the winter when it's dark out. I wake up naturally early. I feel refreshed. I feel energized. I feel awesome. And that's because I prioritize my sleep. If I don't sleep, it really gets to me. I had really bad insomnia for a long time, and I have a couple of tips for sleep, I think on YouTube and on my Instagram. I will also link those in this description. So you gotta prioritize your sleep. If you're not prioritizing your sleep, you're gonna run into so many roadblocks. If you don't sleep, your energy won't be good the next day. Your digestion will crash. Everything's gonna plummet. Sleep burns calories. I think there are 2 things that burn more calories than anything that I can think of. One of them is really good sleep, and the second one is muscle. So this is my third tip, resistance training. One part of resistance training, one part to focus on, is that it creates hormesis. It promotes insulin sensitivity. It literally gives direction to the glucose in your body to go to your muscles. But as you build more muscle and you have more muscle on your body, you will raise your resting metabolic rate. Muscles demand calories. This is partially why Tyler can lose weight like that if he wants to. Like, we went on our honeymoon and he ate so many carbs and many desserts and the bread, the cheesecake, and he literally lost all of the, puffiness or inflammation, maybe a little bit of fat. He was shredded again the day he stopped eating those things. Partially because he has a ton of muscle on his body. Tyler was into bodybuilding before we met, years of it. He spent years dedicated to building his body and building his muscles. He was actually very small and skinny before he did that. He requires a lot of calories even when he sits on his butt all day. Now, if you compare that to my prior self, my previous self at 69 pounds with 0 body fat on my body, my hormones are tanked, my resting metabolic rate was probably really low. Now, I kept losing weight because of the C. diff, but if I were I'll just say muscle is something that you want. Building muscle has benefits, and having muscle has benefits. And I can attest to this myself. The stronger I get, the more I can eat without gaining anything. So, and you'll feel better. Resistance training is therapy. I do it every day because it makes my brain work better and I feel good. So figure out an exercise that you enjoy and lift some heavy things, and that'll be really helpful for you. And the last thing that I want to talk about in this video is that the body is adaptive. So whichever approach you feel is most appropriate for you, whether it be higher protein, lower fat, medium fat, or high fat, medium protein, lower protein, whatever you think is best for you in this season, and hopefully part 1 of this will help you to establish that. Whatever that is, first look at your baseline. What I mean by that is you should be aware of currently how much you're eating to maintain your weight right now. Currently, how many grams of protein and grams of fat. I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about the macronutrient grams. Once you know this, then you can actually work towards whatever you think is going to be better for you, slowly. What I don't think is wise is deciding, I'm going to go higher fat. So I'm going to start eating a stick of butter every day and not change anything else. And I don't really know how much I'm already eating. That's a really good way to gain weight, like unwanted weight. I cannot even count, and I'm not exaggerating, I cannot even count anymore how many people have come to me upset because they've gained weight from being in other carnivore groups that encouraged them to eat until they were Thanksgiving full, or to eat sticks and sticks of butter every day. I'm not saying that that's a bad approach, but I am saying that it's risky when you don't already know where you're starting. So if I started eating 2 extra sticks of butter every day, that would be thousands of extra calories in a surplus. Your body doesn't know what to do with that. It needs time to adapt. So I would say slowly incorporate whatever you're doing, whether it be up or down, slowly make changes, like 5 to 10 grams per week, up or down protein and fat. That way your body will have a chance to adapt and adjust accordingly. A lot of what I'm talking about is what a reverse diet looks like. When you hear the term reverse diet, it just means that you're building up your calories over a period of time, slowly and steadily, while you're also upregulating your hormones and your activity level, and you literally lose weight while eating more. But what doesn't happen is eating 1,500 extra calories worth fat the next day and losing weight. That's a lot more rare. Go slow, give yourself time, think about what you want to do, and realize that it doesn't happen overnight. Now, there are cases where it's like bingo. Some people just need that extra fat or that extra protein to have their body feel like it's safe and is eating enough. Some people are already under eating, so that's the key. Some people need more fat to support leptin, which is that satiety hormone, and it just hits. some people feel so satiated with that fat that they end up eating less in general. But it's not so much that calories don't matter at all, because they do matter in a sense. There's an angle where we should be looking at them. And so to lower the risk of gaining excess fat, whatever you're doing to heal your body, go slow. And to lower the risk of becoming catabolic and losing muscle while you're lowering your protein, go slow. While you're raising your fat, let your body become more efficient at using that fat and being muscle sparing. You don't want to do it overnight. So that's it. Those are the other tips that are less food related. And if you can relate to any of these, I would love for you to share. I would love to hear about your experience with higher fat, higher protein, what has worked, what hasn't worked. I hope that this has clicked with someone. If you're still needing support, reach out to a coach. Stop being stubborn. You have so many resources. We have so many resources, you guys. I would be happy to help you. I offer long-term coaching. I offer one-on-one. I offer 1-hour consultations for people who have already been established with me. But you have to realize that it's going to take a little bit of time to get to your goal. And it will be worth it, because when you get to your goal, it should be sustainable. You should have food freedom. You should not be restricting. You should feel awesome. That's the goal. And if you can't get there by yourself, be willing to work with someone. We have so many awesome people, awesome groups to learn and try new things.